JJ Redick doubled down on stupid and disrespected the game tonight. That's what we all saw. He didn't start Jackson Hayes, right? I am a big proponent and have been screaming that in the playoffs, the game gets bigger, it gets more physical. All those 120-point games that you love to watch go away. It goes right back to the 80s and 90s and 2000s. And that's what you saw tonight. That's what you saw this series, right? When I say JJ Redick doubled down on stupid, what I mean is he didn't start Jackson Hayes. He didn't play Jackson Hayes, right? He actually told Jackson Hayes before the game, you aren't going to see any time. Is that what a coach does, right? How could you tell any player, forget Jackson Hayes, how could you tell any player that they're not going to see any time? You don't know where the game is going. You don't know how the game is going to be played. You don't know which player is going to excel. You don't know the game plan that the other team has for you. So how could you say to any player, you are not going to get any time? How could you say that? He doubled down on stupid. At the end of the day, it's basketball. If you could have a 6'2" LeBron James with all the same skills, or a 7-foot LeBron James with all the same skills, you're taking the 7-footer. Why? Why are you taking the 7-footer? Because the rim is 10 feet high and the court is of finite dimensions. That's why you're taking the 7-footer. If you could have Austin Reeves, the exact same player, be the 6'5" Austin Reeves he is right now, or 6'9", who are you taking? You're taking the 6'9". For whatever reason, JJ Redick has decided that height does not matter. He knows that he can't go play a bunch of guys who are 6'3". But he does not respect the role that Jackson Hayes has played in this series. Does anyone think it's a coincidence that Jackson Hayes doesn't play? And we don't play a center. And I'm not counting Maxi Kleiber. That's a joke. That's where the disrespect part of this video was going to come in. Right? I'm still on the double down on stupid part. The disrespect part is coming. Okay? Does anyone think that it's a coincidence that Jackson Hayes didn't play and Rudy Gobert ends up looking like Wilt Chamberlain? Does anybody think that's a coincidence? Does anybody now question the value of having a center on the team? Does anyone now question if three-pointers are as important as everybody is yelling? Yo, I got a stat for you, and this is crazy, right? At 2:44 left in the second quarter, Minnesota had 46 field goal attempts. The Lakers had 31. Minnesota shot 41.3% from the field. The Lakers shot 45.2%. Minnesota was 20.7% from 3. Lakers were 25% from 3. Minnesota had 53 points. The Lakers had 43 points. Think about that. No rebounds, no rings. We got the wrong coach for the playoffs. I'm going to tell you that right now. If JJ Redick does not understand that he needs to grow, it's not the team. He needs to grow. If he does not understand that he needs to grow, forget as a coach. He needs to grow in his understanding and appreciation of NBA basketball. He is disrespecting the game. He doubled down on stupid and he's disrespecting the game. I'm still on the double down on stupid part though. How is it that when Dorian Finney-Smith fouls out, mind you, this is in a game where in the first half, 2:44 left, Minnesota had 46 field goals and the Lakers had 31. Field goal attempts, and the Lakers had 31 field goal attempts. So, you know what's happening with those numbers. How does that happen? It only could happen if they're offensive rebounding like nuts. That's it. If they're rebounding like crazy on you. That's it. So, when Dorian Finney-Smith fouls out, who do you put in? Gabe Vincent. 6'1", 6'2" Gabe Vincent. When you know in the first half this is what was happening to you. You know how the game was going. And you decide that when 6'7", 6'8" Dorian Finney-Smith fouls out, you're going to put Gabe Vincent in. Please go back and look at my video in which I speak that JJ Redick does not want to coach. He wants the position. He wants the authority. He wants the title. He wants the pay. But he does not want to coach. See, this is I'll give you a perfect example of why I feel he doesn't want to coach. He told Jackson Hayes that he will not be playing this game. How could you do that? You don't know where the game is going. You don't know whether you're going to need this man or not. And before the game, you make up your mind that he is just not going to play. Fourth quarter of last game, you make up your mind. I'm sorry, forget that. Second half of last game, you make up your mind that only your starters are going to play. That 5 guys are going to play. Hey man, the whole aspect of substituting in, analyzing the game, right? Understanding what's going on, went right out the window, didn't it? Didn't really matter. Because you as a coach, you didn't have to make any substitutions. Just roll the ball out there and let them go. Because you got no offense. You have no offensive sets. Right? He didn't want to coach the game. Dude doubled down on stupid. Let me move on to the disrespect. And as I talk about the disrespect, I'm going to get back to stupid. Yo, he disrespected in 2 ways. One, he disrespected the NBA basketball altogether. He disrespected playoff basketball. He disrespected 70-something years of the game and threw it out the window. I liken what he did tonight to flat earthers. Right? A flat earther will tell you they believe the world is flat. Well, why? What, based on what do you believe the world is flat? They'll say, well, based on what do you believe the world is round? And if you don't have facts right there at your fingertips, right there at the tip of your tongue, you can't talk to somebody like that. 5,000 years of history says the earth is round. Right? Now, a lot of people want to go back to the Greeks and say the Greeks discovered. I don't believe the Greeks discovered that. The ancient Egyptians and so many other civilizations had accurate calendars based on the world being round, on the earth being round. Right? And one person wants to come and say, I believe the earth is flat. That person is disrespecting the history of man. Why? Because it's about them. Why else? Why do people do anything? Right? On some level, it's going to be about them. Right? Listen, I said before these playoffs started, the NBA is playoffs in particular. Right? You could get away with a lot of crap in the regular season. You see a bunch of 120, 130 point games, whatever, right? When it's funk time, when it's time to go, right? These scores are going to be exactly what you see, 103 to 96. You see a whole bunch more of those, don't you? It makes you wonder what the value of the 3-point shot is, huh? And then it makes you wonder what the value of a big man is. You see, big men win in the playoffs. The 3-point shooting, that was the Golden State Warriors. But in the playoffs, it's about being big, and it's about being physical, and it's about controlling that paint. At the end of the day, that's what it always comes back to. That's what 70-something years of NBA basketball have told us. Minus the 4 years Golden State won the title. They were exceptional. Hint, hint, exceptional. The exception to the rule. And JJ Redick decided that he didn't need to abide by that. That he knew, just like a flat earther, he could disregard 70-something years of NBA history and get rid of all his big men. Not play them, not develop them, had no use for them. And the reason why I laugh at Maxi Kleiber is because that is the other half of the disrespect that JJ Redick showed his own team tonight. The dude hadn't even practiced with the team, and he got on. He got on the court. Markieff Morris, even Alex Len, Dalton Connect, all the guys that got us here. Right? Now, I get it. Markieff Morris barely played in games. But you better believe he was a part of this team. Dalton Connect, towards the end, barely played in games. You better believe he was a part of this team. And you let some geek off the street walk in and take time and get time. Right? And not only that, JJ Redick did not understand the context. You're in an elimination game in the playoffs. And it's almost like, instead of, I'll put it like this. If you're getting ready to get evicted, right, from your house, and you could go pick up another 1 or 2 jobs and potentially make the mortgage, probably make the mortgage. Instead, you take whatever little bit of money you got and go buy 500 lottery tickets. That's what JJ Redick did tonight. That's what he did tonight. He had players on his team who've been practicing and putting it down all season. Right? I don't care if it's Shake Milton, Dalton Connect, Markieff Morris, whatever. You owed it to them to play them over Maxi Kleiber. Instead, what did you see? You saw JJ Redick play 5 guys all of a second half instead of playing those guys on his bench. You saw him play some dude who hadn't played all year. Hardly practiced with the team. He played that guy instead of playing with the guys who brought you. As they say, you dance with the one who brought you. And JJ Redick didn't do that tonight. What a slap in the face. And if Trevor Lane or Alan Sliwa or the Kamenetsky brothers don't speak to this and give it the amount of attention and ridicule it deserves, those guys are fluff. Come to my channel. Come watch my channel, because I'm going to give you the raw, the pure, and the uncut. That's how he disrespected the game. And that's how he disrespected his team. Listen, all this floating around the outside, right? Kissing Luka Doncic's ass, because that's what's going on right now. That's what you saw in these playoffs. You saw a coach that was afraid to discipline a child. A coach that was afraid to discipline his player. I should have said a parent afraid to discipline his child or her child. Right? Luka needs to be told to shut the F up and play. That when you feel like you've been wronged, it's no excuse for you to stop. The world don't start and stop with you, man. But he moves like it does. You know? And no one is there to check him. And I'll tell you like this too. The way Luka moves, you begin to better understand why Dallas got rid of him. I'm going to make a whole post about this because it's true. Right? Lakers got some decisions to make. I don't know if they got Luka wrapped up or not. I really don't know what his contract situation is. But man, if you were to tell me you could move him for Giannis, or you could move him for a package that contains Amen Thompson, that Reed, Shepard, and I don't know, somebody else from Houston. Yo, man, I'm looking at it because there is a ceiling with that guy, man. I need to make a whole different video about that. But yeah, this one is just really, it's about JJ Redick doubling down on stupid. The dude had no offense. Luka was his offense. And then when that didn't work, what do you got? Right? You got nothing. Yo, man, the way Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle and even Jaden McDaniels dominated the middle was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And again, you know, to tell Jackson Hayes that he is not going to get into the game. It can't be a coincidence that Rudy has this game when he's playing against no center for 85% of the whole game. The dude looked like Wilt Chamberlain. He looked like Shaq. I mean, man, you know, I always tell my kids, man, look, okay, you just got through doing this wrong. Like if we're playing a video game or something, it's like, yo, man, you just did the same thing wrong 5 times in a row, and you're about to do it again. I said, I'll tell them straight up. I said, yo, man, after a minute, it starts to reflect on your intelligence. You know what I mean? Minnesota. You know what? Forget Minnesota for a second. And this is what worries me about JJ Redick. JJ Redick, again, he's always been the type of player that he stands in a corner or he runs off screens, right? His ability to be successful in the NBA was predicated upon a greater player. If there's no great or good players on his team, JJ Redick was effective. He was basically useless. Right? Everybody could stay home on him. What's he going to do? Right? Yeah, he's a great shooter. But he was a great shooter in a role, man. Like, look, man. Like, look, I'm going to tell you straight up, man. I'm going to give you the raw. All right? We used to always say that if it's a spot-up shooter that's needed, it's going to be a white guy. Well, why? Why is it going to be a white guy? Right? Because anybody could spot up. You see what I'm saying? Not everybody could do what Jordan does. Right? Not everybody could do what Magic does. You know, in all fairness to Larry Bird, not everybody could do what Bird could do. But if for a spot-up shooter, right? It's like the kicker in football. You know what I mean? Same thing. If it's going to be somebody who takes a role like a kicker, that guy's going to be white because anybody could do it. Right? If it's going to be a shooter, that guy's going to be white because anybody could do it. And I'm just saying, that's what it was. But JJ Redick, he is of that ilk. He is. He couldn't do much more than that in the NBA. So you got this guy who, that's what he did, that's what he knows, that's what he respects. And is it a coincidence that you see the team moving and behaving the way this team did? Very little to no offense. Just shoot threes. My phone died, so I don't have... Oh, didn't it die? Anyway, yeah, so that's what he does. He tells him, yo, just go shoot threes. Right? There is no offense. There was no offense on this team. You know, it's funny, man. How many quarters could you watch Rudy Gobert do that before you just turn to Jackson Hayes and say, hey, look, man, I was wrong. Get in the game. Because if you can't do that, again, who is this team about? Right? Who is it about? Look, I blame Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka, look at it like this. with this country, right? You can't keep taking 4 steps forward and 4 steps back, right? I'm talking about a president, right? You're making progress and then you recede, then you regress, then you make progress and then you regress. You can't do that, right? Standing still is going backwards. Why? Because the rest of the world is moving. You see? Last year, JJ Redick went a whole off season and didn't do a damn thing. Right? While he was not doing a damn thing, what was the rest of the league doing? They were making moves. They were trying to get better. Some of the teams were trying to get worse. Either way, they were being proactive. Rob Pelinka did nothing. He wasn't reactive. He wasn't proactive. He was worse. He did nothing. Right? It's like that story in the Bible about the 3 brothers with the talents. Right? One brother went and tried to do something, lost it. Another brother went and tried to do something, he won. The other one went and took his money and just put it in the ground. And that's the one who got punished. Right? That's Rob Pelinka. And what you see on this team is what's manifested when you don't do anything, when you're inactive, when you have no intention of improving this team. That's what you saw tonight. Right? You saw a team that should have more, but it didn't. Because the general manager decided that an entire offseason he could take off. He didn't have to do anything. Right? And it manifested itself tonight. It really did. You know, it's like you look down the bench and it's like, where are our players? Right? Now, we had players. We had Markieff Morris, who is serviceable. We needed a serviceable big man. Is he ideal? No. But he's serviceable. And JJ went to Maxi Kleiber before him. When Dorian Finney-Smith fouled out, the way we were getting beat, this is why I say JJ Redick thinks he wants to coach. He functions like he wants to coach. He don't really want to coach. The way we were getting beat tonight, who in their right mind could tell me it makes sense to put in Gabe Vincent instead of Dalton Connect? You can't tell me it makes sense to do that. It makes no sense to do that the way we were getting beat tonight. How did we get beat? We got beat on the boards. That's how we got beat. And you put in, once Dorian Finney-Smith fouls out, you put in Gabe Vincent instead. JJ Redick also, this is another sign that he doesn't want to coach it, that he's doubled down on stupid. I said, watch my preview of this game. I thought the Lakers would win tonight. I thought they'd win relatively handily. Minnesota has matured. In the past, I do feel that Minnesota would have gave this game up. In the same way that just in the past, I did feel Minnesota would have given this game up. They ain't do that. They showed out, man. And I knew that the Lakers were in trouble with the way they started the game, right? With those stats I just told you. Because what you had tonight was, it was inevitable, right? The stats I just told you, 2:44 left in the second quarter. They got 46 field goal attempts. Lakers got 31. They're shooting 41.3%. The Lakers are shooting 45%. And they're up 53-43. That's, you don't see that, right? They're shooting 41%. Lakers shooting 45%. And they're up 53-43. It tells you everything about how the game was going. But do you think that JJ Redick was going to go to Jackson Hayes and say, hey, man, I was wrong? You do have value on this team. You do serve a purpose. Get your shit off. Get in this game. Right? Do you think that JJ Redick was going to go to Dalton Connect and say, hey man, this game is crazy right now. You see these numbers? I can't put in 6'1" Gabe Vincent. I need a 6'7" player to replace the 6'7" player that just fouled out. No, he's not going to do that. Why? Because it's about JJ Redick. That's why. Because look, what I just said to you, right? Look, forget whether I'm right and you were wrong. I'm talking about you, the audience, whoever's watching this. Forget whether I'm right and you're wrong or you're right and I'm wrong. Forget all that. We just got through watching the game. Okay? I am speaking in hindsight, being 2020, right? Could anybody who is watching this or watch the game tell me that JJ Redick should have kept Jackson Hayes on the bench in the second half after watching that first half? Could anybody watching this video or who watched the game tell me that Gabe Vincent was the right guy to put in the game as opposed to Dalton Connect? You can't tell me that. Not in hindsight. In hindsight, there is obviously a right and a wrong. Right? Being on the right side. Forget the fact that everybody wants to be right. Forget that, man. I'm not about that. Forget that. You watch the game, you tell me what's right and wrong. And what's really crazy is what's right coincides with the 70-something plus year history of the NBA in the playoffs. It coincides with it. Right? If you tell me that you don't see it, then you're the flat earther, denying 5,000 years of history. Listen, last year, next year, 20 years from now, the playoffs are going to get bigger, more physical, tougher, less threes. That's what's going to happen. The refs are going to let you decide it on the court. Is it just a coincidence that JJ Redick and the GM, who had the same role as JJ Redick, assembled a roster that fit what they did? Assembled players that at an NBA level are small-ish. Is it just a coincidence? It's not a coincidence, man. It's not a coincidence. JJ Redick, he needs to stop making stuff about him. He should have went to Jackson Hayes and said, hey man, I was wrong. I'm obviously wrong. Get in the game. I'm sorry for disrespecting the role you play. Right? And let's face it, when Rudy Gobert was in the game, oftentimes Jackson Hayes was in the game. That's how they played it. Rudy Gobert was relatively insignificant up until this game tonight. The way this game tonight was played, if Minnesota played the Lakers 10 times, Minnesota would win 9. And it would go the same way damn near every time. The one time the Lakers would win is the one time the Lakers were just off the chart hot. Then the Lakers would win. Let me see what the stats were for tonight. Yeah, man. Shit, ain't much more to say. It's not much more to say. JJ Redick doubled down on stupid tonight and disrespected. Straight up disrespected, man. He disrespected 70-something plus years of NBA history and disrespected his own team. Total disrespect. Maxi Kleiber getting that time. Hey, man, somebody got to go. Either JJ Redick got to go or all the guys that got time or all the guys who Maxi Kleiber played over. Don't connect. Markieff Morris, Shake Milton, all them cats gotta go. One of the two gotta happen. Because that makes no sense, man. And then you're gonna play 5 guys all the second half last game, right? As if you didn't get help on your way to 50 wins. Right? On the way to potentially being coach of the year. You didn't get any help, right? It was just all you. Come on, man. Anyway, look, man. Yeah, this is my phone ain't working, so hey, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. Please like and subscribe. Hey, look, on this channel, man, I'm not BSing or sugarcoating anything. I've been watching the Lakers since 1982-83. I've been watching NBA basketball since 1982-83. I knew the Lakers were in trouble when they did not bring on Christian Coloco, and in particular, Trey Jameson. They needed Trey Jameson, man. Right? I seen guys like Rudy Gobert before, and a big position body like Trey Jameson would have totally neutralized them. It would have neutralized them. Instead, Rob Pelinka did not bring on a center. He didn't bring on a center. And let's face it, part of the reason why he didn't bring on a center is because JJ Redick probably said, I don't need one. I find it hard to believe that Rob Pelinka would just arbitrarily or unilaterally say, we're not bringing a center on the roster for the playoff run. We're not bringing on any of them guys. He went to JJ Redick and said, what do you need? What makes you work best? And JJ Redick told him, we don't need this. And that's what Rob Pelinka did. It's sad, man. It really is sad. LeBron James played well. LeBron played well. Rui played great. Everyone else, they may not be built for this, man. And I don't care what Luka Doncic's numbers are. That dude is a problem. He is just a problem, man. Because that's one thing I didn't do in this video, huh? I didn't recap the game, right? What I saw in this game. Look, Luka Doncic is a problem because everything has to be about him, right? I'm not saying that to say like he's a baby or anything. I say that because literally, watch his game. Everything generates from Luka Doncic. We all now know that if he was scoring 35 points a game, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, some of that was just, hey man, you're holding the ball 20 out of 24 seconds. So you got an assist when you passed it. Duh. So you got up a gang of shots. Yeah. Right? You're playing 40-something minutes a game. Do you see Luka in there battling to get boards? Or do you see him getting boards that kind of fall to him? It's of the fall to him nature. Right? Dude is empty calories, man. He's empty calories. I'm not saying he's not a great player. But the dude is empty calories. And he moves like he ain't in the best of shape. I'm just saying. He does. There is no dynamism to his game. But yeah, man. LeBron played good. Rui played good. The game felt inevitable to me. It was crossing my fingers and hoping the Lakers could hold on. Or get a lead and pull one out. But even if they did win tonight, they weren't going to win next round. And they don't feel like they're going to win next round. They don't feel like they're going to win the round. It almost feels like it was a waste. Right? Rob Pelinka got some work to do. I wouldn't be mad if they fired him. Luka, the Lakers had to do that trade, I guess, based on everything they saw. But if this is the dude he is, I don't know, man. I don't know. Luka could demand a lot on the open market, man. I mean, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. So, yeah, man, I got a bunch more ideas for a bunch more videos. And I'm going to keep pumping them out. Hey, y'all, please like and subscribe. If you are tired of the fluff and of the, unreal kind of commercial aspect of some of the other shows out there, yo, come here, man. I know that my production is not the best, but it kind of coincides with what I say and what I do. This is pure uncut Lakers, right? It's the raw. And as you could tell by my production, it's pretty raw right now. I'm going to get better. Anyway, hey, y'all, man, look. I rock with the Lakers. You rock with the Lakers. 50 wins is nothing to sneeze at, right? Just remember, and please, Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick, remember, the goal is not 50 wins. The goal is to win a title. If you move in such a way that you understand your goal is to win a title, then you'll get 50 plus wins. You see what I'm saying? The goal is not to win the regular season. The goal is to win a title, especially when you're the Lakers. So, in this offseason, I'll be looking for Rob Pelinka to make moves that illustrate he understands what the goal is. And if he doesn't, Laker Nation should be up in arms. If he's out there pulling in more 3-and-D players like these dumbass, Trevor Lane likes to yell, and others like to yell about 3-and-D. If he goes and gets more of them, he's playing for the regular season. Playing for the regular season, man. If he goes and gets Tristan Vukcevic from Washington, then he's playing for the playoffs, right? If he goes and gets Nikola Vucevic from the Bulls, he's playing for the playoffs. You may not see those guys' value in the regular season, but the regular season is for pretty boys, so to speak, right? The thugs are postseason players, and that's what the NBA turns into, man. It ain't the pretty boys anymore. It's the ruggedly handsome types. All right? And the quicker JJ Redick and Rob Pelinka figure this out, the better off the team is going to be. They need to figure it out, though, man. They need to have the right people in their ear. Because I'm telling you, man, what the Lakers did this postseason in this series was negligent. Straight up negligent. As I'm 47, and I knew that the lineups they were running and how they were playing, especially the team they were playing against, the Minnesota Timberwolves, it was going to be a problem. I saw it. I made video about it. And that's what came to pass. It's super frustrating to watch. Super frustrating to watch. For all the crap you'll hear Jordan talk about the 80s Pistons. I grew up in the 80s, man. 80s Pistons weren't the only ones. 80s Pistons absolutely embraced the image, but they weren't the only ones. Everybody was out there playing like that, man. They were not the only ones. Every team had a quote-unquote enforcer. A bunch of teams had quote-unquote hatchet men. If you don't know the difference, I'll tell you what the difference is. An enforcer, you come down the lane and he'll let you know. Yeah, you're too small to be coming down here. So if you eat this elbow, and please reconsider the next time. That was an enforcer. A hatchet man was out to pick a fight with a player, preferably a high-profile player, right? Like Greg Kite would go and pick a fight with Kareem or something, right? And then once Kareem hit him, Kareem would get kicked out of the game. Well, look at the exchange. Greg Kite, who you probably never heard of out there, versus Kareem, and they both get kicked out the game. That's a hatchet man. A hatchet man is someone who will come out and, aim for your knees. That's a hatchet man, right? NBA is no longer that. But that's it. It's no longer hatchet men. It's no longer enforcers. But damn, Minnesota got a bunch that are real close. Are they going to elbow you in the face when you come down? No, they're not. But boy, they play physical, man. They play physical. And, we got punked, man. Straight up, we got punked. You know, and I made a video. Go back and look at my video. It was called JJ, we don't have the players to be physical, or something along those lines, right? And we don't. And that's on Rob Pelinka because he assembled a regular season lineup. 3-and-D is regular season crap. Recognize the real, man. Recognize the real, right? 77 years of history warned you of the wrath that was to come in the playoffs, and we ignored it. So, paid the piper this year. In a sense, another kind of embarrassing to lose 4-1 in the first round when you're the 3 seed. It's embarrassing. Anyway, this is Pure Cut Lakers. Hey man, off season's here, and I'm going to be try to post at least maybe every day, every other day, with good topics and the real for y'all. Again, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.